Hi, I'm Michelle Wood. I'm the director of the Ocean Chemistry Division at NOAA's Atlantic Oceanographic and Meteorological Laboratory in Miami. I just started working for NOAA this year, and amazingly, very soon after I came here, the oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico happened. NOAA here in Miami, we've responded with a number of activities, several cruises. We've been doing a lot of work with satellites. In the Ocean Chemistry Division, we've been involved in helping understand how you measure oil when it's deep in the ocean and it's dispersing out into the water column. So I'll just tell you a little bit about how we do that. Some of these techniques are very common oceanographic techniques that are adapted from the way we sample water for all kinds of things like nutrients and plankton. We use ships like this one. That's the beautiful Nancy Foster that we had one long cruise on from Miami, where we were looking for oil or tar balls that might have gone a long way from the oil spill. And the way we sample for those with the tar balls is with nets. The way we look for oil in the water is to take water samples with sample bottles we call Niskin bottles. This is an example of a Niskin bottle. It's open right now, set up the way we would lower it from the side of the ship on a rosette. The rosette is connected to an instrument that's critical to all kinds of oceanographic work, including what we've done on the oil spill, a CTD. It's conductivity, temperature, and depth. It measures the salinity, the temperature, and the depth. On these CTDs, we also have a fluorometer, which measures fluorescence of material. The particular fluorometers we've used for the oil spill measure the fluorescence of colored organic matter. Oil is colored organic matter. And if you have oil in a sample, like is in this, you can see it's brown, and if you excite it with the fluorometer, it will fluoresce in the ultraviolet and often in the green. And you can see very small concentrations of oil with this fluorometer. So we lower the CTD and fluorometer down into the water and watch the profile. We get the data right away as it goes down in the water. And when we get to the bottom depth that we're sampling, we pick other depths to stop at on the way back. And we trip these bottles, and they fill up with the water, and we get it back on board, and we fill up our sample bottles. We also calibrate the CTD with a standard fluorescent solution like this, quinine sulfate, that gives us a way to get a number associated with the amount of fluorescence we see. So that's the basic method, using the fluorometer, getting information about where there's fluorescence, collecting the water samples like this one, and once we have the water sample, we can send it to a laboratory, and they can analyze the exact chemical composition of everything in the water, but most particularly the hydrocarbons. And then we know exactly what kind of hydrocarbons they are, and for any particular sort of oil, like the oil from the well that blew up in the Gulf of Mexico, there's a definite marker, usually something very specific associated with the kind of formation it came from. And you can tell, you can fingerprint it. This sample we collected this summer where we thought there was oil, there was, but this oil is refined oil. It didn't come from the oil spill that we've all been studying. It came from some boat out somewhere off of Florida. So the story of this sample reminds me of another instance we had, a different cruise that I was chief scientist on, where we had aircraft and other help seeing if there were tar balls in a place that our modelers and other people predicted they were there. Those did turn out to be from the BP oil spill. And the whole enterprise just makes me think about how all kinds of science is a detective story about what's going on in nature, but it also is an enterprise that involves a lot of people. Even when there's no oil spill, really doing science is at the forefront of what we know, and so we're always detecting. We're always trying to figure things out, and we do it as a team. I couldn't have learned about this oil or the tar balls by myself. I had a lot of help, lots of colleagues and lots of collaborators, people who ran the ships, people who ran the samples, people who were doing other kinds of analyses, people who helped here at the lab. And that's one of the things about science. This oil spill was a sad thing for the environment, for the economy, for a lot of people, but the collaboration we saw among the scientists and the efforts to do this work just really reminded me how much excitement there can be working with a team of scientists on any problem that needs detecting.